Witnesses, state your names and occupations for the court. Why are they holding fruit? Are they gonna be like 50s gangster? Like, name's Nash Skulkin, see? Occupation is baddie, professional baddie. My name's Ringo Skulkin. Occupation's same as him. Tobias Gregson, Scotland Yard Inspector. That's right. We're what they call... What? Three skull... What? The three Skulkin brothers. What are you looking at me like that for? Don't lump me in with you lot. God blimey, that's cold. Don't you know what we're going through? It's our older brother. Lost contact with him we have, so we're scouring every shady corner of the capital. And then last night we come across you. The very spit of the bloke. Ain't that right, Ringo? He is, Nash, he is. The very spit of him. So we decided then and there what we's gonna do. We's gonna call you... Big Bruv Sulky. What? Come on, leave it out, you two. So one of them eats apples, one of them eats pears, and one of them eats fish and chips. The metallic green 1964 Buick Skylark driving away from the shop. From My Cousin Vinny. Classic. I do love it. Sulky Skulkin, and that's before he's run out of chips. Well then, Inspector Sulky Gregson. Begging your pardon, my lord, but the name's Tobias. What I would like to know, Inspector, is what you are doing in the witness stand. The Skulkin brothers are currently under arrest, my lord, on suspicion of theft. Thieves, are they, these three? No, my lord. Begging your pardon, but please don't lump me in with this lot. Two nights ago, these two brothers... Oh my god, he's in his glory. He gets to count knights and brothers. Illegally entered an establishment with intent to burgle. And in the course of their nefarious activities, they became embroiled in a far more sinister crime. Ah, apples and pears, Cockney rhyming. Fish and chips. No, fish and chips is just what you eat, I say. By Jove, you mean to say, what an extraordinary coincidence. Indeed, my lord. While attempting to burglarize the pawnbrokery, they witnessed its proprietor's murder. Order! Order! Unfortunately, I don't know the Japanese word for pear. Otherwise, I would likewise break down the pun in Japanese. Apple is Ringo. Wait a minute! Wait a dang gosh minute! The one guy's name is Ringo! The guy holding the apple is named Ringo! But how do you say pear? We're putting the stream on pause so that I may translate pear into Japanese. From Japanese. No, into Japanese. Nashi! Okay, so their names are Apple and Pear. Or Pear and Apple. Incredible, but confusing, but incredible. The various trespasses of these brothers is not the subject of today's proceedings, though they will naturally face trial in the very near future. With your lordship's permission, I'd like to remain in the stand to keep these gents on the straight and narrow. Of course, Inspector. Skeptical as I am about the caliber of these witnesses, I will permit them to take the stand. Mr. and Mr. Skulkin, you will now testify before the court. A fruitful outcome. And convenient, because now I will never forget how to say pear in Japanese. Describe the events on the night in question and what exactly you saw. Happy to. 'Cause a skulkin's never skulkin'. Get out of it. We was walking down Baker Street in the small hours, and the gas door was ajar, see? It was like some kind of sign begging for us to go in, it was. Well, once we got inside, core blimey lummy. Core blimey lummy? Okay. Core blimey lummy. We had a gunshot from the back room. We went to see what was what, but the door was locked from the inside. We never done nothing, Governor. We never took nothing. We just left after that. Nice and quiet. A terrible coincidence, it would seem. At the precise moment these miscreants entered the property, an even more sinister crime was afoot. Yeah, that's just how you write Gregson in katakana, phonetically spelling the name. The witness's testimony is consistent with the crime scene in every detail. The door providing access to the storeroom from the main shop was indeed locked from the inside, and from within only the victim and the accused were found. I must say, it does appear to be an overwhelmingly simple case. Still, the defense may cross-examine the witnesses now, of course. Counsel, if you please. Counsel? Yes. What's the matter, Runo? Sorry, I was just stunned into silence for a minute by the blatant lies being told by that pair in the stand. The lies being told by the pear in the stand, but what about the apple in the stand? I know that it's all nonsense because I saw it with my own eyes. I'll just have to expose their testimony for the pack of lies it is. Hold it! The front door of Windibanks was ajar, you say. What time of night was this? Must have been about 1, right, Ringo? Oh, yeah, I'd say so. Right, Sulky? How would I know? The place would have been shut at 1 in the morning, just like every other shop in town. Well, it was... well, it was pitch black inside, it's true. Ain't that right, Ringo? I'm not so sure, Nash. I seem to remember a little light burning inside. What about you, Sulky, me old mucker? Leave me alone. Definitely was a small lamp burning inside. That's what alerted us to the situation in the first place. And when these gentlemen ventured into the open establishment, the accused, Miss Gina Lestrade, already had the muzzle of her gun trained on the unfortunate victim. Objection. That is pure conjecture. Perhaps, but it changes nothing. Blindo! Blindu! Thank you for the raid, the host. These brothers inadvertently wandered into the middle of a cold-blooded murder, simply because they found the door of the victim's establishment open and ventured inside. Right, that's what happened. Hold it! Am I losing my mind, or is my light flickering? I feel like it flickered. Either that or I blinked. What are you trying to suggest? That you had to go in? Well, God moves in mysterious ways, they say, don't they, Ringo? They do, Dash, they do. Must have been some sort of providence, I reckon. God's will often presents itself as the whim of thieves, does it? It weren't no whim, I'm dead sure of that. It weren't, Nash, it weren't. Like we said at the time. You don't just find doors open in the middle of the night like that. Nah, there's no two ways about it. Oh, it was a sign our long-lost brother was inside. They're not very good liars, are they? Well, you can't deny it. But as to a bloke who looks just like our bruv. I said cut it out. Those chips are getting a chomping today. Core blimey lummy, and then what? A gunshot, you say? Just the one. Are you sure about that? Yep, just the one, Governor. I can swear to that. It was, Ash, it was. Ain't that right, bruv? The firearm used to belong to the victim himself. Yes, Mr. Windibank always used to leave his gun lying around on the counter. Right, I remember. When we examined it, we found the revolver was completely out of rounds. That makes sense. Mr. Windibank always used to say he only ever kept a single bullet loaded. That's true. I remember him saying that as well. So we can say with considerable certainty that only a single round was discharged from the firearm used as the murder weapon. Yes, my lord, we can. And I should remind the court that the firearm in question was discovered in the hand of the accused. Wonderful.
Hold it!
Do you mean the door between the main shop and the storeroom?
If my learned friend is having difficulty grasping the situation, perhaps a drawing would help. Excluding the shop's entrance from the street. There is only one other door. That of the storeroom.
Of course, there was only a little lamp oil burning, not much to see by.
And it always hidden behind a curtain and all.
That's right. When we arrived, the door was mostly obscured by the curtain. Tell me, why exactly did you try to open that door? Any normal petty thief would run at the sound of a gunshot, I should think. Haha, well, your turn to rabbit, Ringo. To rabbit? Like rabbits, rabbit pie. Rabbit pie rhymes with lie. It's your turn to lie. Okay. I assume that they eat rabbit pies in England.
Well, sure, yeah, I suppose you'd have to say we ain't normal, eh? Broadly speaking, humans respond in one of two ways. On hearing a gunshot or a scream, the timid flee, gripped by fear, while the courageous investigate to see if they might help.
Rabbit and pork. Torque. Okay. Your turn to torque.
These gentlemen are of the latter inclination. My learned Nipponese friend, it would seem, is of the former.
Alright, somehow I just proved that I was a coward that night.
Thank you, counsels. So I believe we all understand that the door was locked and could not be opened. Proceed, witnesses.
We left after that nice and quiet. You didn't do or take anything, is that your story?
Well, it was bedlam soon as, won't it? It was, Ash, it was. Didn't even have time to pull me dukes out me Lucy lockets.
So, with no time to take your hands out of your pockets, you just left, nice and quietly, you say.
That's right, Governor. Nothing we hate more than violence. Peace-loving nibblers we are, not bludgers. We are, Nash, we are. Never even pulled me dukes out me Lucy lockets.
So you'd clearly like us to believe. Come again. You never took nothing, eh? Get him on the grammar lawyer, Esquire. As you fled from the pawnbrokers that night, did you not run into anyone else? And did you not fire a gun at that person?
Saints alive, they fired a gun, you say?
Arg!
Blimey, governor. You ain't tell us it was you in the doorway.
It was.
Why the bleeding Nora? Didn't you mention that before?
You were armed with a gun, and as you fled the scene, you fired that gun at London's greatest detective, Sherlock Sholmes. They shot the great Mr. Sholmes? I did hear that, actually. There was a rumor he'd been rushed to hospital. The great Sholmes? That's beyond the pale.
On the night in question, these pair were arrested by the police in minutes of the discovery of the crime scene. Their suspicious countenance rapidly gave them away. And when searched, a firearm was indeed found in their possession.
Enter the dungeon. Enter the dungeon. A trial inside of a trial.
Furthermore, the barrel shows signs of having shot. Furthermore, the barrel shows signs of a shot having been fired from it. The prosecution invites his lordship to examine the firearm recovered from these brothers. Yes, indeed. Remnants of powder around the muzzle, as you say, counsel. The court will hold this weapon as evidence. Now, my learned Nipponese friend. Yes? Here is to you successfully presenting the evidence. For yes, there are the telltale signs of spent powder on this gun and a single bullet missing from the cylinder. But the prosecution demands evidence that it was fired at the scene of the crime under scrutiny in this trial.
Well, I don't need evidence, because I was there.
However, the rest of us in the courtroom were not.
Alright, so I'll take the witness stand. Easy.
If the defense fails to provide evidence in support of its rash claim, we shall have no choice but to toast your incompetence and move on.
Evidence that these two fired that gun before they left Windibanks that night. It's gonna be the calendar.
The court demands that all claims are affirmed with clear proof.
Do I have I don't have like a picture of the store. I got floor plans. I should probably look at all these things now. Corner of Dr. Stevens, Pop Windibank. Oh, maybe I don't know why we have this magnifying glass. This is Mr. Windibank's gun. The cylinder is completely empty. Mr. Windibank always used to keep this gun to hand, on his shop counter. Yes, but only ever with a single bullet loaded, I understand. That's right, to keep all the pawned articles that were in his care safe. But his one bullet was fired that night, and the poor man lost his life. Was he protecting his shop, I wonder? Trying to keep the articles safe? Is there anything? I don't think there's anything else here. So there's ammunition still loaded in 5 of this revolver's 6 cylinders, making it completely safe to have in a courtroom. Just toss it around. Yes, which tells us that only a single shot has been fired from it. Exactly. The bullet that hit Hurley, in fact, isn't it? Yes, it happened almost as soon as we'd walked through Windibank's door. I'll make those brothers pay. Oh wait, I have the blood. That's where I'm like, I don't have a picture of that calendar, but I do. In here. Right there. What evidence shows that these witnesses unloaded a firearm in the pawnbroker shop that night? It's right here.
Take that!
The evidence is in this portfolio. What on earth have you there, Counsel? During the course of our investigations, we discovered a number of blood stains. Not trusting the police to do the job they're trained to do. How arrogantly Nipponese of you. Well, anyway, we analyzed all the blood samples we found and recorded the results in this portfolio. And you claim to have the evidence the court is demanding therein? Yes, my lord. No more dallying then, Counsel. Present the pertinent evidence at once. What do you have in your portfolio that proves these witnesses unloaded a firearm at the scene? Right there.
Take that!
What is that? Explain. It's a photographic print taken at Windibank's pawnbrokery on the day of the incident. For the scene of the crime, is it? Is that a bullet hole? And if my eyes do not deceive me, it appears the bullet is still lodged there. Yes, as your lordship noticed, the bullet pierced Mr. Windibank's calendar. The date shown being the 16th of April, the very day of the pawnbroker's death. The incident occurred 1 hour after midnight, but this indicates that a separate shot had been fired sometime after the calendar had been set to the 16th. That's right, and while it isn't irrefutable, the defense believes that this is credible evidence that the witnesses did fire a round from their gun in the pawnbrokers that night. Nah! See? Order! How does the prosecution stand, Lord Van Zieks? If that is the direction my learned friend wishes to take, the prosecution has no objection. What? But you'll forgive me for flinging my hallowed chalice aside in disgust at the repugnancy it exposes. Yes, on the night in question, these brothers entered the pawnbrokery illegally. And like the bold baddies they claim to be, opened fire on the new arrivals before fleeing back onto the street. Take it easy there, Governor. You're gonna land us in the soup. We had a deal. You weren't gonna go into them details. Show him, Sulky. Set the bloke straight. I have nothing to add. So he knew, did he? Van Zieks knew their testimony would almost certainly expose the extent of their crimes. It would seem now that I owe my learned Nipponese friend a word of gratitude. What do you mean? What I mean is that you have helpfully confirmed an important fact. To what fact do you refer, Lord Van Zieks? As has been established, at the point of their arrest, a single shot had been fired from the brother's gun. However, if that shot found its target in Mr. Sholmes, then clearly these two witnesses cannot be accused of the fatal shooting of the proprietor and victim. Ag! In other words, these two men have no material connection to the murder of Mr. Windibank at all. So that's it. That's it. We didn't have nothing to do with it.
We didn't, Ash. We didn't. That's what I reckon. Your crimes include unlawful entry, intent to steal, perjury, and let us not forget attempted murder. Quite a catalog, eh, fellas?
Ah, we're in for it now, bro. Oh no, that was the other one.
Now then, let us take a moment to consider the aforementioned great detective, Mr. Sherlock Holmes. It would seem the man patronized the pawnbrokers in question somewhat regularly.
Where's he going with this?
Mr. Holmes appears to take pleasure in tinkering with eccentric machinery.
Eccentric? Says who? Not me. Don't give me that look. Finally the camera.
He installed a pair of machines like this one in the victim's shop.
Oh, that's one of Hurley's red-handed recorders.
What is that, Counsel? It has the appearance of a photographic contraption. As your lordship has surmised, it is indeed a camera attached to a small timing device.
Every half hour, it automatically photographs the interior of the establishment. The idea being that if a thief were to break into the shop, he would be caught red-handed.
The prosecution has obtained the photographs taken by the device on the night in question.
Oh, this is a whole lot of them. As the court will observe, copious identical prints are produced in a quite desultory fashion.
Rather prodigal, I feel. In fact, there are two such devices in the victim's shop. If I may refer the court to the plan of the premises, their respective positions are here and here. You say these cameras produce a print every half hour. I'm afraid I fail to see how that would help. If the anticipated thief conducted his activities in one of the many 30-minute intervals. One can only pray that the would-be criminal lingers, my lord.
I'm not sure. I mean, every time he says a number, I exaggerate it, but I don't actually know if he's saying numbers any more or less than previous prosecutors have. It could be coincidence. He doesn't really place emphasis on the numbers. It's just sometimes he says numbers.
On the night in question, the witnesses currently in the stand were not caught on camera.
That's a bit of friar talk, eh, bruv?
Lady Duck loves a skulkid. Witnesses, at what time did your trespassing begin?
Must have been just after 1, right, bruv?
Must have been, Dash, must have been, yeah. Just gone 1. In which case, minutes before these brothers entered the establishment. What scene might we expect to see within the shop? Let us examine the evidence.
Good Lord! It's the defendant! Miss Gina Lestrade!
As the court can clearly see, the accused is pictured, gun in hand, facing the victim over the shop counter, no doubt coercing the proprietor to open the door to his storeroom.
Quite! One can all too easily imagine the events that unfolded. The court will take this photographic print as evidence, if you please, counsel. Why can't I see all of them? Ugh. I don't believe it. Ginny.
In short, the accused is the only person who could possibly have killed Mr. Windibank. Ag! Who was that? Oh. I say, my lord, wonder if I might put in a word at this point. Go ahead, Mr. Foreman. Took a bloody bullet to the knee in the Battle of Maiwand, 1880, don't you know? I'm decorated for it and all that, but forced to retire from service, sadly. Of course, metal can never outshine the exploits of chaps like us on the battlefield. Yes, Mr. Foreman, and what exactly is your point? Carried on the battle after retirement, you see. The battle of daily life, if you like. And here I am now, leading this small squadron. 6 men, all good and true. We'll all go down together, you mark my words. One for all and all for one.
Count it.
The ladies and gentlemen of the jury have reached agreement, have they? Is that what we are to understand? Well, Mr. Foreman, is that correct? In a manner of speaking, yes. That is the Garden Squadron's position, sir.
What? No, it's too soon to make a judgment here.
Status report for the court, man. Unlegible.
His lordship insists on promptitude at all times, and that goes for making decisions, too. I think you'll find the truth is as clear as day now. I could reach out and touch it.
I wouldn't have left it in there. I just wouldn't. But in all honesty, I can't actually remember.
Situation clear. Stop. No room for doubt. Stop. Truth now undeniable. Stop.
I am very sorry for brothers. They are unlucky.
Is he I don't know why this didn't occur to me the instant we saw him, but he's the guy from the second case who was in the newspaper, like, hey, Russian diplomat something, assassin. He's the assassin.
Very well. I now call upon each member of the jury to state his or her leaning on this matter. Announce your considered verdicts to the court.
Guilty. Guilty.
Guilty.
Guilty.
Guilty.
Well, that's that. Gave it my best. He lost something. Yeah, he apparently was doing a surgery maybe and dropped something in there and then sewed the person up.
It does indeed appear that the jury is unanimous in its leaning already.
That photograph. It must be the definitive evidence that Gregson mentioned. But Ginny didn't shoot him. No, of course not. My lord, the defense wishes to assert its right to a summation examination.
Very well. The court grants permission. So, you refuse to admit defeat again. How unsurprising. We shall proceed immediately with the summation examination. Mr. Foreman, are all the members of the jury ready? Absolutely, sir. Always ready for action, my chaps. Very good. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you will each explain on what grounds you have determined the defendant to be guilty. All the evidence clearly points the finger of guilt at this young pickpocketing.
As a housemaid, I should like to see all filthy eyesores promptly and rigorously eliminated. I think you'll find that if you look at that photograph in stereo, the truth will just pop out. That's right. All we have to do is go cross-eyed.
If I have left it in there, I should think there'll be repercussions by now.
Mind made up. Stop. Global radio transmission of verdict to follow. Stop.
In motherland, we never say judge by clothes, judge by head. I am convinced brothers are innocent. And yeah, I had, for some reason, I had just assumed they would be from two different angles. But yeah, that's why they were setting up the whole Nickelodeon subplot, is so that we could eventually go cross-eyed while looking at the two pictures. The circumstance of the crime and the evidence do indeed implicate the defendant rather comprehensively. The storeroom, locked from the inside, in which the victim and the accused were discovered alone, and in the accused hand the fatal revolver, the firing of which was heard by these witnesses. Not to mention this print. Taken from a chap who's seen action on the battlefield, like young girls on the verge of pulling the bally trigger. No, those are rookies' eyes. I know you won't shoot. Thanks a lot, Mr. Sholmes. Oh dear, Hurley's cameras were supposed to help, not hinder. I'm afraid I think you have an uphill struggle ahead of you. But Gina didn't shoot Mr. Windibank. Which means there's more to this situation that we've yet to see. Agreed. You have the floor, counsel. Proceed with the summation examination. We only have one picture though, so I guess if we talk to the stereoscope guy, maybe he'll be like, "Hey, let's look at both of the pictures," and that's the only way I can do it. What would even change? Is it gonna be like, oh, he's in the foreground and she's way in the back and she's like ready to shoot someone who's behind him?
Hold it!
What do you mean look at the photograph in stereo? Sorry, what? Don't you know? If you look at the photographic print normally, it looks as though the pickpocket girl's about to shoot the victim, obviously. But there's no indication that the defendant ever fired the gun. All I'm saying is that if you look at the same print in stereo, it could reveal all sorts of new information. By any chance, are you a fan of stereoscopes? Ooh, how did you know? It's called a lucky guess. It never gets old, seeing the two prints merge into one before your eyes. I feel like I could do it for 90 years until they invent the internet, and then we have better stuff. It's extraordinary, it's captivating, it's the height of modernity. Of course. Oh yes, I think you'll find the stereoscope is here to stay, giving us new perspectives we could only dream of before. It's the greatest invention the world has ever seen. If only you could give me a new perspective on this case, I might agree with you. Oh, is that not gonna... Alright, so someone else will have to say... something else. Was this a 3DS game? I don't know. Even if it was, I don't know if they would have used the who knows? Maybe it was. No, 3DS is old. This is a newer game. The greatest invention the world ever saw was sliced bread, clearly. He should walk around with a pair of glasses that just has 2 pieces of toast that he holds in front of him. That's a way better invention. If I can't change the minds of more than half of these 6 jurors, the trial will be over. Though we know that Ginny would never shoot anyone. Yes, so we need to find contradictions in what these jurors are saying. Pit them against each other. Must be ready to go whatever lengths I have to convince them of Gina's innocence. Let's get some clarification. You're Mr. Natsume's landlord, Mr. Garadeb, aren't you? We really must stop meeting like this.
By that liar chap. Well, there's a turn-up for the books. Yes, rather turbulent time we had back then.
Some extraordinary events took place at your house, that's for sure. Luckily, Mr. Sholmes and I were able to get to the bottom of it all and get your wife hopefully put away for murder? For attempted murder? I think we did rather a lot for you, didn't we? I mean, obviously, I wouldn't be suggesting that therefore you should change your leaning to not guilty or anything.
No, can't be denied, I suppose. The curse of the Garrideb house was the talk of the town after that business. Rogers moved out, I couldn't get a bally soul to take up the tenancies.
Oh.
Haven't had the heart to break the news to Joni yet. Bad enough that the old girl's clapped up.
Okay, so is she in prison? That would be nice.
Yes, can't be denied. You did do rather a lot, but not for us, that's for dashed certain.
I suppose not.
Of course, there can be no suggestion that being the reason I'm leaning towards guilty here, obviously.
Obviously. But honestly, I really wish he'd pay more attention to the trial and less to juror number 2.
Hold it!
Polishing the bench, I see. Again. A maid's work is never done. Not a blemish must remain. What exactly do you mean by filthy eyesores? On my way to market for his lordship, I have to pass through the East End. The place is full of beggars, pick-purses, and crossmen, the scum of the earth. A little harsh, perhaps. Let me be plain. If it were up to me, all those back slums would be made spick and span or eradicated. At least we have people like the great detective working to achieve these important goals. You're referring to Mr. Herlock Sholmes. That's right. I like to keep abreast of his exploits by reading Rand's magazine in between my duties. He does wonders cleaning up London's streets. In my opinion, he should be declared an honorary maid of the capital. Mr. Sholmes, a maid? Rule 34. It exists now. It's really quite unforgivable. Gutter scum having the audacity to shoot our very greatest detective. Minor detail, it was the 2 brothers in the stand who shot Mr. Sholmes, not the defendant. A minor detail indeed. They're all gutter scum as far as I'm concerned. Well, just might be an idea to get our facts straight anyway. Yes, all right. I shall amend my statement. Those brothers are the scum of the earth. They should swing for shooting the great detective. Okay. That doesn't, like, can't... Hold it! I agree with you, the shooting of Mr. Sholmes was an unforgivable act. But the purpose of this trial is to determine who shot the pawnbroker, Mr. Windibank. I'm afraid you're splitting hairs, sir. Sorry? Whether it was the thieves or the pick-purse, it was still gutter trash that shot the pawnbroker in the end. Filth that should be cleaned up and eradicated, in my considered opinion. Thanks so much for sharing. Changing this maid's mind isn't going to be easy. She's like, you're splitting hairs. Who cares who the defendant is in this murder trial? Bruno, it was one of those 2 brothers that shot Hurley, wasn't it? Yes. Without question. Well, then I'll never forgive them. Oh, Iris. Perhaps we can use this maid's statement to help us somehow, do you think? Yes, maybe. Alright, listening to the other jurors. We already listened to his.
Hold it!
What exactly have you been muttering about all this time, sir? You keep talking about having left something somewhere, or something like that.
So sorry. As you can probably tell, I'm a surgeon.
a surgeon that totally passed me by. Of course, people conducting surgery in this country aren't considered to be doctors. Oh no. Even though me and my kind are at the forefront of medical science, the real brains in the field. So what is it you think you've left behind? Well, that's a little embarrassing, to be honest. You see, I was operating on someone yesterday. Standard thing. Went in through the abdomen. When I'd finished the procedure, I couldn't find my scalpel anywhere. What? Did he? Surely not. Exactly, surely not, you say to yourself, don't you? Worrying, isn't it? That's what's been troubling me this whole time. Could I really have left my scalpel inside the fellow's belly? No, of course I couldn't. So, there you have it. Like I said, a little embarrassing, really. That's one way of putting it. The other is manslaughter. Exactly my concern. And seeing as this case appears to be all but sewn up, I need to focus on trying to remember exactly what else I've sewn up elsewhere. Now, I'm sure I made sure everything was back as it should be. Well, as sure as you can be without being sure. Sure, you need to be more sure. Get out of here, you!
Hold it!
Where are we going to find anything? Radio transmission? What do you mean? Are you from the Far East? Stop. Yes, from the Empire of Japan. All communication with Far Eastern nations used to take place by mail. Royal Mail steamers take more than a month to complete the journey. Ah, but now we have the electric telegram, so we can send messages using electrical signals. Thousands of miles of cables have been laid along the ocean beds, connecting the entire world. Thousands of miles of cable on the ocean bed? It makes my head hurt just thinking about it. You are well informed, young lady. Hee hee. But cables will soon become a thing of the past. Stop. Just when I was starting to catch up. Radio transmission is the future. Stop. Messages carried over messages carried over airwaves to four corners of globe. Stop. Excitement growing. Stop. Atmosphere electric. Stop. But can we use it to detect ghosts? Can we talk to the ghost of Mr. Tesla? Try not to wear out your fingers. Era of wireless telegraphy. Stop. Driving technological revolution. Stop. And people say inventions like the stereoscope are the height of technology. What utter piffle language. I can't understand it. I really can't. They're just silly toys. Uh-oh. Go off. Go off, Queen. Is that what the kids say?
Excuse me.
Juror number 3, sorry to interrupt when you're obviously fuming, but... What?! Do you perhaps have something to say about juror number 5's last remark? As if I couldn't guess. Oh, you bet I do! Say that again! Go on, I dare you! Goodness, are you talking to me? Think he just might be, yes. You think stereoscopes are just toys, do you, huh? Absolutely. I mean, rarely. A machine to view photographs in 3 dimensions? Why on earth would you not use your eyes to look at the world around you? It's all 3-dimensional. A great way to appease the man. No, I'm sorry. Stereoscopes are of no practical use at all. You just don't know! Pardon? I think you'll find that viewing a photograph through a stereoscope can unlock all sorts of possibilities. I'm obviously going to have to demonstrate. Obviously. What sort of possibilities? Well, take a crime scene, for example. If you had a pair of photographs from a crime scene that you could view through a stereoscope, it could reveal hidden clues you'd never even noticed before. What? Have you got any prints we could look at with a stereoscope? Yeah. How about this print here?
Take that!
They might have died. They're a goner for sure. The person who had the scalpel sewn up inside them, Alright then, juror number 3. Are you saying you can do this with any 2 suitable photographic prints? Of course I can. Well then, I'd like you to demonstrate. What is this going to show? Unless it's some, like, weird Phoenix Wright only thing. Like the clock in the background is just going to be glowing or something. I mean, the music box, or the skull, or something. One more print? Do I have another print? Is it in here? No. I don't appear to have more than one print. I guess not. I present the same one again. What do you mean one more print? Oh dear, don't you have these in the Far East? Don't you know how a stereoscope works? Bruno! What? You need 2 photographs for a stereoscope, remember? You know, one for the left eye, one for the right. Oh yes, I remember now. But the print we have from the pawnbrokery is just a normal photograph. No, I think you'll find that the clue is in the name. It's a stereoscope, not a monoscope. You always need 2 prints. Thanks for the friendly explanation. Well, if we obtain another print at some point later in the trial... Okay. Ha ha ha. I think you'll find that know-it-all expression is really starting to annoy me. Let's get things back on track, shall we, Council? So is pressing him going to reveal a second photograph? Please tell me you're not Violin Bolshevik, the Russian revolutionary. Revolutionary? I believe there is such a rumor. It's just a rumor. As you see, I have unfortunate appearance. I look like vicious criminal. Your words, not mine. Just want to point that out. People call me revolutionary, murderer, autocrat. And which glove fits? Good day, I am visiting London for sightseeing. I would like to take bus to Crystal Tower, please. Right. That didn't sound staged at all. You'll forgive me for having my doubts. To be treated like vicious criminal all the time, it is very painful. People do not realize. So I have much sympathies for these brothers. People say they are criminals too, only because of how they look. The Skulkin brothers? Maybe they went inside pawnbroker shop, but they have done nothing wrong. That is all I want to say. The Skulkin brothers did nothing wrong that night. Alright, well, first of all, that's one not so little misunderstanding I'll need to clear up straight away. Tell me something, Iris. What is it, Bruno? The jurors are chosen at random from the inhabitants of London town, aren't they? Yes, it's amazing, isn't it? In that case, how is it that there's a Russian tourist sitting among them who looks for all the world like a revolutionary? I wish I knew. Alright, well, I guess we're gonna... I mean, those are definitely 2 contradictory things.
Objection.
Those two statements clearly contradict each other.
Good lord! Counsel, explain yourself.
Oh my statement contradictory?
Contradict. C-O-N.
Juror number 6, you've got the wrong end of the stick.
I do not have stick. I have mouse.
As juror number 2 said earlier, when the Skulkin brothers fled the scene on the night in question, they fired a shot from their revolver. Yes, they shot poor Mr. Sholmes in the abdomen, I understand. Surely you're not going to tell the court now that you didn't hear?
Abdomen, ABD.
Sir?
Sorry, my English is still learning.
Make sure you have the right end of the mouse. You are telling the court you didn't hear?
Forgive me, I did not hear. Ugh. Here is word. Abdomen, part of person's body containing stomach and other vital organs. If this is what you mean, you should say in plain English. I am Russian, not native speaker.
Thought it was a good idea to let this man be on the jury.
So, you're telling me these brothers who look like criminals were lying? They said before, we never done nothing. But truth is, they shot Detective Duck. This is double negative.
Yes, that's exactly right. Oh no! And now the mouse will suffer for their crimes.
Lying is wrong, especially when the lie is said by a person who looks like criminal.
Coming from you, that seems surprisingly prejudiced.
This means when they said we never took nothing, maybe it was also big fat lie. Is this true?
Well, according to the police report, no stolen goods were found, so...
Enough! I trust no one now.
It's not the mouse's fault, though, sir. Deponia all over again.
I must see with own eyes. I must investigate crime scene myself.
I'm afraid that won't be possible. Yes, it is, Bruno, easily. Bring the crime scene here in an omnibus. Brilliant. Sorry? With the prints from Hurley's red-handed recorder. Oh, doing this gets us the print of the other camera? If you compare the print that pictures Jenny and the print from half an hour later, you'll be able to see straight away if anything was taken or not. Cooey? Alright. Cooey, Mr. What?
Calling on...
Wrong Russian.
Calling on the prosecution in the middle of a summation examination of all times. The print showing the accused threatening the victim after she broke into the shop is this one. Following this, the victim and the accused moved into the storeroom. Meanwhile, the Skulkin brothers entered the shop and summarily heard the fatal gunshot ring out. Sadly, none of these events were captured on film. This is the print produced by the camera half an hour later after the brothers' flight.
So this was taken after Hurley was shot then. So we're not taking two that are side by side and stereoscoping them. We're just taking two pictures from two different times and comparing them, one with our left eye and one with our right eye. That's a weird thing to do, but okay. And is it going to be the thing under the clock? Is it going to be the thing under the clock? Is it going to be the thing under the clock? It is. So this was taken after Hurley was shot then. As far as I can tell. Oh no, that is there already. Never mind. Unless someone moved the camera 4 inches. Oh, maybe the camera was nudged. Could be. That does seem to be the case. I can't notice anything that's obviously missing in the second print.
So the brothers who look like criminals only told one lie. They shot man, but they stole nothing.
It would seem so, yes. Good. No, not good. You were right. I did not understand the situation. Now I know brothers have lied. I think it is very important to continue with trial. Yay! Well done, Runo. The balance is shifting. Well, it's a start, I suppose. There must be more in what these jurors were saying that I can use to expose the truth. And if I can do that, we might just Hikuri-kaisen the situation to our favor. Thank you, Counsel. Continue with the summation examination. Then kindly hand that new photographic print to the bailiff to be filed as evidence. Another print in the court record. I wonder if we can make use of that. In the lake of lies are many dead fish. We must find truth. Therefore, I say not guilty verdict. So she didn't change her mind.